Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Stomp This Way. Today we are reviewing Gamera vs. Viras.
Yes.
The fourth film in the Gamera franchise.
Too many.
Dylan says 4 too many. Also, the original title is Gamera vs. Space Monster Viras.
This is the title that pops up on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Very cleverly, they go into this title.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Very cleverly. He says, it could be no other than the monster. And then he goes, pew! Gamera! Fancy.
Fancy.
Or the US title was Destroy All Planets. Okay. We had 3 options for this film. We did watch the original theatrical cut, which was approximately 72 minutes. We could have watched Yuasa's director's cut, which was 81 minutes. Or we could have watched Destroy All Planets, which was 90 minutes. We'll discuss the differences later.
We should not.
I don't really know what's in the director's cut. I never watched it. Anyway, so some making of trivia.
Daiei had entered into an agreement with AIP to distribute the new series of Gamera films on American television.
That's right, and because of that, AIP wanted American actors in the films, which is why there is an American boy co-starring in this film, along with some other white people.
Yes.
But, unfortunately, they could not find an American child actor who spoke Japanese, and that they could find on short notice. So Carl Craig, who was the child of a U.S. Army man stationed in Japan, so he was an Army brat, was cast despite having no prior acting experience.
Happens.
Daiei Studios chief exec Masashi Nagata was an advisor to the Boy Scouts of Japan, which is why Boy Scouts are featured heavily in the movie.
Yes.
This is the last Showa-era film to star Kojiro Hongo. This film was shot in 25 days. Director Yuasa thought that this would be the last Gamera film because of the low budget. About a third of the film prior to it. Despite that, it was considered a hit, so Daiei wanted more. And Yuasa has apparently been quoted as saying that this was the first time he was troubled by having a hit movie. He was like, damn it.
So you say the budget gets lower from here?
Yes.
Judging based on this next section, I don't know that it can get much lower before you become...
It can.
Before you become not even a student film. I've probably seen student films with bigger budgets than this is going to get, I bet.
This film was released on March 20th of 1968 with a budget of around 20 million yen, which at the time translated to approximately 56,000 American dollars.
56,000.
56,000.
It gets lower.
It gets lower. Just wait till we get to Gamera Secret Monster.
How low?
Negative budget, okay? Negative budget. But we're going to watch a trailer to this film, and we're going to come back, and we're going to discuss this absolute masterpiece in filmmaking.
Masterpiece is not the word.
So see you in a bit.
1号機破壊したる。2号機直ちに地球攻撃に向か
え。ガメラだ。マシャン、逃げろ。いや大丈夫。ガメラは子供の味方なんだ。
マサオとジムはどうした？
地点にいます。連絡を取りましょうか。あ、
地球人に次ぐ速やかに降伏すべし。降伏せぬ場合は2人の少年の命も保証できない。司令官、なんとか救い出す方法はないでしょうか。地球全人類が降伏する道しかありません。脳波翻訳装置用意。今からお前たちの命をもらう。
All right, we're back.
We're back.
This film is directed by Noriaki Yuasa, written by Nissan Takahashi, music by Kenjiro Hirose, effects by Kazufumi Fuji, and starring Kojiro Hongo, Toru Takasuka, Carl Craig, Michiko Yagaki, Mari Atsumi, Junko Yashiro, Peter Williams, Ginzo Wakayama, and Teruro Arigaki as Gamera. Ginzo Wakayama was the voice of Viras. I don't know who was in the suit. Dylan, what was the very complicated, very convoluted, very intricate, very detailed plot of this film?
Things happened.
Essentially.
Evil aliens from the planet Viras, which is not really a planet.
It's a star.
It's a star.
Whatever.
It's whatever.
And Star Wars are the same thing.
Okay. Evil aliens from the planet Viras have come to Earth to take it over, but their scout ship is quickly destroyed by Gamera. The second ship arrives and kidnaps 2 children and threatens to kill them if Gamera attacks. With the giant turtle unable to fight back, the aliens attach a mind control device to him and force him to wreak havoc across Japan. But the 2 boys they kidnapped, Masao and Jim, are resourceful, and they are able to disable the mind control device and beam themselves off the ship. With the kids safely on the ground, Gamera destroys the alien ship, but in a desperate final move, the aliens merge into a giant squid-like monster. After a hard-fought battle, Gamera defeats the monster Viras. In the final scene, the kids are reunited with their Boy Scout troop, and Gamera flies off victorious as credits roll. Ooh,
nice.
That's really it.
That's really it. That is the plot of the movie.
That's literally the plot of the movie. And apparently the next 4.
And then, yeah, there's the rest of the show era right there summarized for you. I'm just going to copy and paste this plot summary and change some names.
Lovely.
And you know, I've been talking about that formula. This is the one.
It's it.
This is the Gamera Showa era formula. You have
it only took them 4 movies.
You have typically 2 children that get kidnapped or harassed by aliens in some way. Gamera has to save them, and then the aliens turn into a giant monster at the end, and Gamera has to beat it.
Do all the aliens turn into giant monsters?
They either turn into giant monsters or they have a giant monster at their disposal, like any good Ultraman episode. Anyway, that being said, this film starts out. There is a Boy Scout troop in this film.
That's not the beginning of the movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the beginning of the movie, we get right into it with this
Space
movie.
titties.
This is a family show. These bumblebee hives that form into a ship.
Space titties.
Family show. Right?
Large spherical breast-like objects.
Bumblebee stripes. They are at Earth. They're going to take it over, but Gamera shows up, destroys this first ship.
Not today.
Not today. And they have to. They send a signal back to their home planet as they're getting destroyed.
Well, it sends another ship.
But meanwhile, there's some scouts, Boy Scouts, and we meet Masao and Jim.
And Scoutmaster Kevin.
No. Family show. These two young children. Jim, who speaks really good Japanese,
Yeah,
actually.
he does. And also speaks English, obviously, because he's
He does speak
he's an
random.
American boy.
He speaks random lines of English,
I wonder if that was on purpose or
or if he just
accidentally.
accidentally reverted to English. Sometimes I'm not really sure, but yeah. So they're mischievous. They had this.
Scoutmaster Kevin's not a fan.
You gotta stop.
Oh goodness.
Jeez.
Anyway, they're very mischievous.
There's this little submarine that the
Yeah, they
scientists
sneak
have
off to
built.
this marine research facility
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
have the submarine. Well,
And
they
they-
reverse the controls on it.
So when their
Yeah.
scoutmaster, not Kevin, and the scientists get on it, like they go backwards when they try to go forwards and blah blah blah. But anyway, they let the kids pilot it
It
because
seems very dangerous.
very dangerous, very unsafe. But whatever. This
Well,
is
these
Japan.
kids are very good at piloting this thing.
this Masao is like
Boy genius, I guess.
boy genius. Like he built in 1968, long before cell phones, he built these little wristwatch that he could communicate with his sister.
And they can track each other.
So sure, why you would build something for your older sister so she can track you? That doesn't make much sense. But anyway, so they meet Gamera underwater, and
They get trapped under a bubble.
Gamera March blasting at high volume. They have a little race. This tells you this is going to be a very child friendly, very cheesy movie. They have a race with Gamera underwater before they get trapped by the second alien spaceship underwater. But Gamera, despite the horrible pain it causes him, he lifts up the little dome thing for them to go free. But then they get kidnapped by the aliens anyway, because they did a mind read of Gamera and determined that his only weakness was his unquenchable love for human children.
Yes.
Scoutmaster Kevin's got some competition.
I thought this was a family-friendly show.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. But anyway.
Alright.
But yeah,
I guess this is where the biggest difference you said
the
was
biggest
between
difference
this and the
between
American
the
version.
cuts, yeah. If I remember correctly, this scene where they're reading Gamera's mind and like reviewing his past battles goes on for 18 minutes in the American cut. That's the 18-minute difference.
It's like 2
because
minutes here.
they needed it to be 90 minutes so they could, fill a 2-hour time slot on television with 30 minutes of commercials. So, they got to pad the running time a lot. Here, it's like 2 or 3 minutes here. And then later on, it's quite a bit when Gamera's attacking the dam and then attacking this. They just replay the dam sequence from Baragon, and then they replay, even though it's in black and white, and the rest of this movie's in color, they replay the Tokyo attack scene from the first movie. Shh, no one will notice. But whatever. It's what it is. They were working on a low budget, guys. But yeah, so, the kids are on the ship, and I kind of wish that they would have used, instead of him just being a boy genius, the fact that they were Boy Scouts would have came into play, and they just, used their scout knowledge to get off the ship, but, whatever. But they were, and I love the fact that Jim is the white kid. Mm-hmm. So he has a lasso that he carries around.
Yeah.
And
And I guess because he's white, he's automatically really good at using a lasso.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier in the film, he takes this piece of rope and turns it into a lasso, and first try, not even any problems, and just ropes this other kid's hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That got stuck on this pole.
Stuck on this pole.
Yeah, he's a
He's an all-American cowboy.
born and bred Texan, I guess.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But yeah, they're on the ship, and
things happen.
they, one question I have is if they meet the squid-like monster. That's the true form of these aliens, but they at first think that it's just like an animal they're keeping caged up. But my question is, if he's their boss that we find out later, why is he in a cage? Which we learn that he can open it at any time, but why? And also,
No. My big question is, none of these aliens are doing anything to these kids. They're just these kids are literally just running around the ship doing whatever they want to.
Well, they said they had freedom of movement until they broke the rules, and then they got locked up and barred to the wall or whatever. But yeah, also when the kids like lie to the aliens and say, "Oh, the monster's gotten out," why do they all go running out of the room like it's a big deal? And then also, aren't they telepathic? How could they not tell the kids are lying? Because this whole shit runs on telepathy, apparently. I do like their little replicator thing that makes whatever they want, just like Star Trek.
Whatever you tell it to do.
Whatever, unless it's something dangerous to the ship, and then it sounds an alarm because it has a safety feature. So see, they designed it smart. They're smart aliens. But yeah, and then the kids, they just like they reverse the controls on that little submarine. They reverse the controls of this mind control device they stuck on Gamera,
And they get beamed back down to the surface.
beam themselves back down to the surface, and
Gamera and the aliens merge into the big squid.
Gamera destroys their ship, so they merge into the giant squid and banana peel squid thing, and they
Cue fight.
and they have a rather violent fight. Like again, if the blood was red, this would be R-rated because at one point, like, I mean,
After the beginning of the battle, like Viras just like pops up out of the ocean and like spears Gamera, and then he's like multiple times
stabbing him, and Gamera's like his limbs are popping out as he's getting stabbed.
It's unfortunate.
But then Gamera like flies into the air and like with Viras stuck in him, like spins around and flies him way up in the atmosphere where he freezes, which is kind of ironic that Viras is the space monster, but he's the one that freezes at high altitudes.
Anyway, he turns him around and spins him around and drops him back down. And he lands in the
dies.
water, I guess, and dies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess.
But,
Okay.
you know, I think it's a fun fight. It's goofy.
Yeah.
You know, there's at one point Gamera throws a rock that gets stuck on Viras's head, and he kind of sinks him to the bottom of the ocean. And there's, I don't know, all kinds of goofy things that go on. But no, you know, Dylan, I don't think enjoyed this movie too much.
It's just, it's cheap. It's goofy.
Exactly. See, this is my opinion on cheap movies. They can be, if you don't embrace it, you're going to be in for a rough time for sure. But this movie knows what it is. And I think, I mean, yeah, there are some unfortunate things. Too much stock footage. I think for one good thing, they cut way down on the boardroom sequences. I mean, there's like a couple where they're waiting on the United Nations to tell them what to do with this shit.
I'll give it as the pacing of this movie is not bad. It's not horrible.
But this movie, in large part, knows what it is, and they take full advantage of it.
It's very cheesy.
Very cheesy, but cheesy in a fun way, I would argue.
It's all right.
But I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's some...
I didn't hate
like
it. It's a movie.
It's
It's a movie.
Like I said, I don't know. I mean, there's just small...
I've seen worse.
You
Yeah,
will
yeah.
see
I'm
worse.
gonna see a lot worse.
I mean, there are some things that I wish they'd done different. Like, minor things that I think would have helped, like, don't have the black and white stock footage because that is just really just kind of not helping the movie's cause. Try to cut down on the stock footage just as a whole.
Well, that's too bad because it's gonna be even more later.
Yeah, and Gamera Super Monster, all the fight scenes are stock footage basically. So
Awesome.
but and you know, there's some stupid plot things, like I said, where like sometimes they forget the telepathy on the ship. It kind of comes and goes, and I wish that the fact that they were Boy Scouts would have been more integral to how they escaped from the ship. You know, stuff like that. But in large part, I think this movie, like I said, is cheesy. It knows it's cheesy, and I think it has fun with it. So, you know, I don't know. That's just my take on it.
Creatures are
Creature design. Gamera looks the same as always.
pretty much.
Maybe a little cheaper. Maybe the suit's getting a little rough for wear, but I still think, you know, looks pretty good. I mean, he's on wires a lot in this movie, flying and stuff. We didn't, you know, that this is another great 2K transfer. Unfortunately for this particular film, most of it takes place in broad daylight, and the wires are very visible.
Yes, but Viras.
Viras, what do you think about Viras?
I think it looks like a giant squid.
Yeah.
It looks like a squid combined with a banana peel.
Yes.
It's a very pointy giant squid.
His head, like, at first it's like peeled like a banana, but when he wants to spear something, it like closes up,
in.
and he turns into like this squid spear thing.
Squid spear.
And he's got this little beak on him. And
Yeah.
he's got, I mean, you know, it's a guy in a suit, so they have like two tentacles that are obviously like made for legs, and then he has like four that just kind of
Flop
flop around freely, you know.
I don't know where his arms are though.
He probably just kind of cramped at it, stuck to his size in the suit.
Because the other ones really do just kind of flop around.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's cheap and cheesy, but I think it works for this movie.
Yeah.
He looks definitely more menacing when he's got his head closed.
Yeah. When he's spearing Gamera to death.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times.
Good times.
Yeah, like I said, I think it works for this movie. I think, the aliens are kind of, for a young children's movie, kind of creepy when, like, they're in the shadows and you
And
just
their
see
eyes glow.
Eyes
Mind
glow.
blowing.
It's a pretty decent effect, I think. But and then
effects.
at one point his arm flies off and like grabs the kids or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting into effects, again, cheesy. I think that Gamera's fire breath still looks good.
I think Gamer's flying still looks good.
Flying, aside from the very visible wires.
Bright blue flames.
Still looks pretty good. They do more of that where he just uses his back two legs instead of all four.
The wires, you're very visible with him underwater as well.
Yeah,
it happens.
He looks pretty. The puppet or whatever looks kind of rough underwater. His movements and stuff.
The matting and rear projections, alright.
It could be worse.
Could
definitely.
be worse.
Its use of stock footage does not help this movie.
No.
Especially when you're using black and white footage in a color movie.
In a color
for no
movie.
random reason.
Yeah. Well, runtime padding. That's why.
Runtime.
But yeah, that's unfortunate. But I still think for the tone that it strikes, I think the effects are serviceable. I'll say that.
They're fine.
They're alright.
They actually, like that submarine thing, like, I don't know if it was actually like something laying around somewhere that somebody had or if they built it, but it's actually there. A life-size model they built or found. I don't know. And I think, the we didn't talk about this in design, but the alien spaceship, it's interesting. I like the way it spins and it shoots little lasers and stuff. And when it lands, it like has jets on the bottom and then like the little landing legs come out. And, yeah, that's pretty neat.
Space titanium.
Oh Lord. Score. Obviously
this score is cheesy. And the majority of the score is the Gamera March.
They introduce the Gamera March in this film.
Whether or not it has lyrics or not, the majority of the score is the Gamera March.
And you gotta admit, this is great. Gamera. Gamera. Something, something, Gamera. Something, something, Gamera. Gamera. And then it goes on from there. I love it. I think it is great. No?
Gamera.
And I'm gonna hate it in about a movie and a half.
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
You're gonna get plenty of it.
I'm gonna be like,
They play it a lot.
I'm gonna be like, my head probably explode by the time we
There
get
is a
3 more movies on the road.
scene in Gamera versus Zigra that is hilarious. I can't wait till we get to it. That involves the Gamera March. No. I love it. It is. It's great.
Yeah.
Let's get to some final thoughts for Dylan's Short Circuit. Andrew, what do you think about this movie?
A whale.
whale?
Whale.
Whale?
Whale.
Like a whale?
Like a well. Well, this movie isn't too horribly bad. The effects are good for what the movie is trying to pull off.
Okay.
And the score is the same song over and over.
But it's a great song.
It's a great song. But the creature design is cool. The game looks virtually the same as always. But Viras, he's a cool squid spear.
Yeah.
Squid spear. It's the new term.
Squid spear. Squid spear.
Word of the day, squid spear.
Yeah. It's a good movie. I think it's enjoyable for what it's trying to pull off and the budget it has.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give this a C.
A C. Dylan, what do you think?
It's a movie.
It is a movie.
It is 72 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it has a giant turtle.
Yes.
Yes.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's alright. It's really goofy.
It is
Yes.
goofy.
The effects are really cheesy. But I can't knock them too much. $56,000.
Yeah.
It's okay. I will give it credit for it's not poorly paced, actually. Mm-hmm. The pacing's actually pretty decent. Probably due to the fact that it's a relatively short film.
Yeah.
We kind of get into it, and then it slacks off a little bit while we're trying to introduce some characters and set up some characters. But for the most part, after that, it's pretty much in it. Mm-hmm. And the hijinks and shenanigans of these kids on this alien ship is somewhat entertaining. Mm-hmm. Goofy. Again, very goofy. Yeah. This movie is definitely aimed at children.
Yeah.
But the final fight is interesting.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. Quite violent for a children's movie.
Yes. Gotta love it.
But it's alright. Gamera looks, again, pretty much same as usual.
Yeah.
I think Viras is kind of cool. I do like him better when he's more angular, like the Squid Spear.
Yeah.
The effects are... It's okay. I wish that we would have used less stock footage.
Yeah.
The one piece of stock footage that looks really good, though, is the dam sequence, because it looks good in the first place.
Best effects sequence in this whole show era.
Pretty much. And then the score is the same thing over and over and over.
You don't love it like we do?
It's a song.
Will it be stuck in your head for days?
I hope not.
For weeks, because we're going to keep
My
listening.
head's going to explode.
Yes.
I give it a C minus.
A C minus. All right, well, that's better than I thought you were going to do watching this movie.
I almost gave it a D.
Yeah, well, that was harsh. We'll stick with C
I
minus.
almost gave it a D plus, but I'll go C minus.
A DD plus? That's what you said.
A D to D plus.
Oh, you just said DD plus.
A D plus.
Okay.
It just came out fast, I guess.
Okay.
I'll give it a C minus. It's alright. It's alright.
It's alright.
It's okay.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this. Obviously I have an appreciation for cheesy monster movies if they know what they are. There are some that don't know what they are. Probably one that we're going to watch next week would be among those.
What about you?
The Giant Gila Monster.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. But this one, I think they take that cheesiness, that goofy factor, and I think they play it really well. The two lead child actors are, I think, especially considering one of them had no acting experience, I think they're fine in this movie. They are not too annoying. They don't get on my nerves.
It's not too bad.
Like some of them will later. I think that, again, these movies always have been really meant for children, so I think that they were right in really aiming this at children and having this star two child actors. And we've talked about the things that kind of bother me about the movie, but largely I think it's really successful at what it's trying to do. I think it's cheesy. They didn't have a lot of budget to work with, but I think the effects complement the tone of the movie really well for the most part. I love the Gamera March. It's one of my favorite kaiju related theme songs ever. It is great, and it will definitely be at the end of this episode. Viras, I actually kind of like his banana peel look. I think it contributes to the goofiness of this movie. And then I love how violent this final fight gets when he's spearing Gamera. Gamera's got like a giant hole with blood spurting out of his chest.
Blue blood.
And he's like, I think it's actually really fun. But as a whole, I still enjoy this movie. I mean, obviously, this came out the same year as Destroy All Monsters, I believe. Obviously you can tell the quality difference. But that being said, I'm going to give this movie a B minus. It's, got a little too much stock footage. I think the cheesiness might go a little overboard when they're showing black and white stock footage with a movie that's in color. But I'm glad we didn't watch the American cut where we had to watch 18 minutes of stock footage. So there's a pause. But other than that, let's see. We got a little bit of news. Starting December 19th, both the black and white and colored versions of the film 20 Million Miles to Earth will be streaming on the Criterion channel if you're subscribed to that. If you're not, I suggest that you do. It's got some good stuff on there.
Rather expensive.
If you like, it is kind of pricey, but if you like classic cinema, it's got some good stuff on there. November 27th was Gamera's 55th birthday.
It's currently December the 1st.
Yes. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, Gamera. We love you. Or at least two of us do. And then a new Ultra series titled Ultraman Chronicle Z Heroes Odyssey will debut on Japanese television on January 9th, 2021 and, quote, will tell the story of the heroic odysseys of giants of light such as Tiga and Z from a brand new perspective.
End quote.
I don't know what that means, but we're going to find out. Hopefully they will simulcast it on YouTube like they have Ultraman Z, I guess, technically, which we've been watching. We are caught up on. It is quite an interesting show. The most entertaining toy commercial I've ever watched. But other than that,
We did really well on listens last month.
we did really well in listens last month.
Passed our previous record.
Past our previous record from the previous month. So thanks everyone for listening.
We're well on our way to making it, hopefully, to
10,000
10,000 listens by
probably
the end of
by the end of the year.
the year.
So
Which, if I'm not mistaken, I think we set out for like
2,500
I want to say we set out for like 5,000,
at the 5,000.
something like
Wow.
that, because we had close to 2,500, I think, by the end of the year last year, or
okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
I think we set out for like 5,000. So
Well, we're doing really well.
Yeah.
maybe next year we'll shoot for 20.
Yeah, 20.
Not doing too bad.
That's not too
Not
bad.
doing too bad.
Like I said, next film I believe is the Giant Gila Monster. It is on Tubi for free, which is how we're gonna watch it. I didn't buy it.
Yeah, it's like $25, something like that, Aaron. So
I found it cheaper, but I think I found a DVD for like $6 or $7. But it's like, if I remember right, it's a really bad movie. So, sorry, but it is American, so you don't have to read subtitles. There's that.
Yay.
Yay.
But other than that, do you want to tell them about our YouTube channel?
We do have a YouTube channel. It's DNA Film Reviews. We are currently working on finishing up our Christopher Nolan retrospective, as well as we have a series planned for next month and then something special planned for Christmas. So if you have any interest in that, keep a lookout for all those things.
Yeah.
DNA Film Reviews on YouTube.
That's right. If you have any comments and or questions regarding this particular podcast, you can contact us at stompthisway1954@gmail.com.
This is true. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are at Stomp This Way on all those platforms. So make sure you give us a like or follow. Be sure to tell your friends about us.
That's right. We also have a website. Andrew, where is that website?
Well, that website is at www.stompthisway.podbean.com.
This is true.
That is true. What do we have over there?
Nothing.
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 Okay. Well, don't bother then.
Now we got our full schedule of events, subject to changes always. On that same schedule, you can see our grades for previous films that we have reviewed. You can find our backlogged episodes, just whatever news Aaron wants to keep us updated with.
Such as today in the mail, I received the God Rhaegar versus King Oga Blu-ray that I ordered from SRS Cinema. And as we discussed in our Ultraman special episode, I have adjusted the schedule so that after our Trimmers franchise, we are going to do a little mini franchise with the Rhaegar trilogy. Dylan does not seem too enthused. But aside from that, maybe we can hope this month that we'll get a Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. Maybe
Looks like it might go to streaming.
yeah,
possibly?
we talked about that on our Ultraman episode a little bit. But maybe with Wonder Woman, they'll attach a trailer or something.
Maybe.
One can hope.
We can hope. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to go to HBO Max. So
Probably for the best.
probably, well, I wouldn't say that. But yeah. Other than that, again, don't forget to join us next week for the Giant Gila Monster, streaming for free on Tubi if you want to watch it.
We're not sponsored by Tubi, by the way.
We are not, but we would take a sponsorship from Tubi if they were so kind.
Yeah.
If you're out there.
But thanks for listening. As always, I'm Andy.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Dylan, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Stop it all!